All right, guys. Hey, good to see you guys. Welcome back.
Wednesday with Romeo's. Wonderful.
Romeo World Headquarters.
There we go.
Every day
Is
a
Romeo Day.
There we go.
Let's take this opportunity to welcome back our viewers.
Wherefore art thou?
You're getting ahead of our topic. Oh, young one.
No,
Quoting
Romeo.
Shakespeare.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. You're one of a kind, Naren. One of a kind. As I was saying, welcome back to our viewers and loyal followers. Thank you for liking us. We appreciate you subscribing. So please do so and encourage your friends, family members. If you have to bribe a person or two to do it, we're not beyond that. So thanks. Guys, topic for today.
It's a beautiful topic.
It's a very noble
Is it?
topic.
Hallelujah.
Let's choose something
Praise
really,
the Lord.
really
Organized religion.
organized religion. Okay.
Or is it organized crime?
We know
little
who's
bit
going
of
to lead the
both on it.
conversation.
You would know better than most.
Yes, I am Catholic.
All right. So, guys, we are going to talk about organized religion today. And Dominic, I know you're just dying to get us started. So why don't you?
Well, like I said, I am Catholic. I mean, you got to believe in something. That's what I believe.
I believe in you, Dominic.
There you go. And look, the message is good. Sometimes
Which message?
just Catholic religion, about
Is it?
loving your neighbor.
Including the Crusades? What do you mean loving your neighbor?
We can't go back that far.
Why not?
Yeah, well,
I think with religion, we have to go back to the
you're
beginning.
right. You're right.
Don't we?
At least 2,000 years. Maybe 5,000 for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Depends on your beliefs.
Correct.
Okay.
We're going to overtime then,
Yeah.
are we?
But like I said, the message is noble. Sometimes those messengers, those are the problem. That's
So you equate religion to morality then?
yeah.
Okay.
Because it gives you a guidance.
Right. So it's an equivalence for you.
You're right.
Religion
Very
and
good.
Okay.
I do.
So the way you're asking the question, Naren, I take it, it isn't for you.
No, I completely disagree. The morality and religion.
When you say completely as opposed to,
like completely.
there's no middle ground on this.
There's no, because morality is morality, and religion is something that humans have used to control other humans for the past 5,000 whatever number of years, and that's what I believe. So I believe in faith. I believe in morality. I don't believe in religion. I don't need someone to tell me what to do.
Sorry, when you say you believe in faith, can you expand on that? Because people can interpret that a number of different ways.
Well, if you, as a human being, believe that there's a greater power, that there's some other universe, that there's something that happens to you when you die other than you just cease to exist. If you believe that in your heart of hearts as a human being, well, that's your choice and that's your faith. And there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Because it's you that's feeling that for yourself. It's internalized. If you go and say, hey, because I feel this now, you must feel the same way, because this is the way everyone should feel, because this is my faith, and my faith has to be told to you, and you, and you, and you have to now follow my faith, then that's religion, as far as I'm concerned. And this is what religions do. And they use this to control people's thoughts, control people's actions, and also steal lots of money from them, rape their kids, all sorts of other wonderful things. So I think religion is garbage. I think religion has screwed over the world multiple times over the history of the world, and will continue to do so until people finally open up their fucking eyes and say, we don't need religion. We just need to be good people, moral people, ethical people, and move
How
on.
likely do you think is that?
It's not going to happen because you got,
But,
people telling stories. If you sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
If from the time you were born, you were told a story of a mythical dragon that rises from the ashes and wipes your ass clean every night, and that was a story that your parents told you as a child, and you grew up with that story, you would believe it to the foundation of your core, because that's what you grew up with, and that's what religion is. It's garbage that's passed on from generation.
So the
to
only point I
generation.
will differ with you on is I think that not all conspiracy theories are created equal. And what I mean by that is that the sheer force that is behind certain conspiracy theories make them much more sustainable over great periods of time. So I'll use the simple example of Santa Claus. And the simple premise, which I believe that You cannot prove that something or someone doesn't exist.
Correct.
You can use logical arguments, you can use rational arguments in order to support your point, but it is fundamentally impossible to prove that something or someone does not exist.
Yeah, which
Left the figment of your
religion,
imagination.
which religion uses to its benefit.
Okay, so that being said, Santa Claus. So depending on your faith, your heritage, your background, a lot of people around the world essentially tell their children from an early age, if they're of that faith or that belief, that there's this individual called Santa Claus. And once a year, he'll come around bearing gifts. And if you're good, you'll get gifts. And if you're bad, you won't, and so on and so forth. Depending on the child, somewhere around the age of 4, 5, 6, 12, right? At some point, you figure out that, well, you know, like there's some holes in that story. So how can one person travel around the world in a single evening? How can someone really be on top of the entire population of the world and know who's been good and who's been bad? And anyway, there are all kinds of holes in that story that cause most rational human beings at a fairly early stage in life to say, it can't be. So, no, I don't buy it. Contrast that with organized religion, where the story is much more comprehensive, has much stronger backing, cannot be disproven, right? And is proven to have pretty good staying power.
Right.
And there are different forms of the story, all rooted in a similar beginning, if you will, that various cultures around the world have been telling one another from generation to generation to generation. And for me, there's some very serious logical flaws in the story from the very beginning that caused me to dismiss the whole idea. And then when I look at the way in which it's been used, much more for bad than I would say good, I question its purpose.
So you're not a fan?
I'm not a believer. So yeah, I'm definitely not a fan. I think that the world would actually be a much better place if we emphasized morality for what it is, ethics for what they are, various forms of beliefs and values that are good for humanity at large, as opposed to a man-made creation that has really pitted groups of people against one another.
To this day.
Has been at the root of most of the significant wars that we've experienced since the beginning of mankind.
Yep.
And which I said, as I said earlier, I think has some real glaring flaws in logic. Anyway, I'll stop there and circle back at a later time.
To your point, Noran, you have a point, because there's a lot of people who are religious, they're not moral. There's a lot of moral people that are not religious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can split those two.
But if you think about it, religion at the root was just one of the many ways, and perhaps the most powerful yet, that mankind created in order to organize and mobilize large numbers of people.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, right? So here's a belief system. You articulate it in a very compelling manner. You touch on people's fears and insecurities so that you're going to get a higher degree of buy-in. And then once you have that buy-in, you can manipulate.
Yeah, as they have.
For eons.
Yeah.
Eons.
Yeah.
So actually, what do you think?
So I think initially religion served a very important purpose as guidance for humanity.
You mean
initially.
You mean to control people or to guide?
No, I mean in terms of how we should treat each other, in terms of how we should live our lives. I believe in the original prophets, where people, on the ground, close to their fellow human beings, and were committed to being a force of good. I believe in that part of the religion story. When religion morphed into the mega organizational thing that we're talking about. And of course, I'm thinking of the Crusades in the name of Christ. That's, to me, from that point on, it's completely discredited. But I think what I take out from it, so yes, I have an open mind about religion. I don't like the organized religion part. I don't like the hypocrisy. I don't like the opulence. I don't like the tribalism. I'm disgusted by the history of it and the war.
So what do you like?
So I like the beginning. I mean, of Christianity, of ordinary people aspiring to be better human beings and living their lives in a way that brought peace of mind. They were a force for peace. They were a force for people to appealing to their better interests. So the initial idea, the initial idea is the piece of religion that I embrace.
How about
so
today,
I'm
though?
sorry, I'm missing something. What is the original idea?
Well, the original idea is that you live your life not just thinking about yourself, not be selfish, but the original idea is you live your life in order to make life better, to support your fellow human beings, and to be an honorable and ethical person, to be a good person.
Is that really what the original idea was?
I think that the original idea, right? I think the original idea, if you go back to Christ, if you go back to the prophets, the original message was that.
Okay, but how about today?
Today, no. Today, it's completely. I have.
So we're
it's
living today, right? We're not living 2,000 years ago.
But that's the way I manage it. The other thing I want to say is that I think there's also something to be said about a moral anchor, which we had a moral anchor through religion for most of us. I think we did.
So are you referring to a religion broadly speaking, or are you referring to a religion?
My experience. Okay, so this is very personal. I'm talking about my experience, and I believe that the way I observed it, when I was growing up, is there was a moral compass that came from religion and from our parents and so forth. But there was that piece that I think now is completely gone. It's completely it's diminished.
What piece is that?
That moral compass. Like what are people's moral? What's your moral compass? So for a lot
what
of
happened?
people, I think we don't believe. We've gone too much towards the utilitarianism, and it's about what we see, what's concrete, what's tangible. There's nothing spiritual. There's nothing beyond the tangible. And I question that. I think that it's a step back for mankind, for humanity, if we don't really have any hope or don't aspire toward anything.
So hang on. So you're linking religion to not seeing the tangible, or like you're saying people because they.
I think there's something. I have an open mind about the idea of a spirit, about something.
Okay, so the afterlife, heaven, hell,
about a soul. Yeah, I have an open mind about that.
Okay, so
right. So that's what I'm saying.
That's okay. That's everyone's choice to believe or to have their own faith and their own thoughts. Absolutely, but
I don't know. I think we're aimless. I mean, as a society in general, from what I see, I think we're aimless in terms of around ethics, around morality. We're pretty aimless.
So what's different today than say 2,000 years ago?
Well, there were some guardrails through religion, through some morality that was passed on to us by.
Do you know that for a fact, or is that something you prefer
something
to believe?
that I thought that I saw that I see less of now?
Well, you weren't around 2,000 years ago. So
I'm talking about.
So the question is, I have a completely different viewpoint. I actually think that for all the technological innovation, progress, whatever you want to call it, we've made over the eons, the one thing that hasn't changed or hasn't changed much at all is human nature.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So morality is what it's always been, or lack of morality is what it's always been. Taking advantage of your fellow man is what it's always been.
Well, this is you're making my argument.
No, but
he's not.
I'm not. I'm not making your argument at all. Not at all. It's a completely different belief system. So I really think that religion largely has its roots in the desire on the part of select few to inspire, mobilize, and control large populations, and to explain what could not be explained because science had not evolved to the point where we could explain a whole bunch of things that people were questioning.
It's a miracle.
Well, it's a miracle, or here's a story.
We still have miracles being sanctioned by the Catholic Church, for God's sake.
Actually, they've adjusted their doctrine.
But
but it's amazing today that you hear the term conspiracy theory, right? I think the greatest conspiracy ever told is religion.
No, but Pat, what I'm saying is this is where we differ. I think the original religion was not about mobilizing people.
Sorry, what was the original religion?
I guess if you look at Christianity, I would go back.
No, Christianity is not the first religion.
No,
it's Judaism phase 2, 2.0.
It's prophets, whatever. I mean, if you look at Buddha, if you look in the East, it's prophets that had a message of really containing that part of human nature that you're talking about, containing our worst instincts. That's, I think, how it started.
I don't think it's containing our worst instincts. I think that it's a way for
it's control.
Control.
It's a control.
Not
it became that. But this is the piece. Anyway,
you say it became that. What was the idea in the minds of the individuals who actually created this structure? Do you think it was all for good?
Yes, I think initially it was.
So again, I say, you know what? I admire your idealism. I don't look at human nature that way.
But it doesn't have to. I mean, this is why. Because human nature.
Why is it that all the churches have all that land that was granted to them, tax-free by all the kings at the time, to make sure that they had the people on their side, because they could tell the fairy tale that, hey, you need to not steal, not cheat, not rape, not murder, not do anything bad in this lifetime, so that you could have an eternity in the next lifetime in heaven, doing wonderful things, or else you're going to be burning in hell.
Right. So
and under the premise of do as I say, not as I do.
Well, that's a whole
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. So but you say of course, but that's why I question what was the intent of the people who created
control
these religions.
I know, but if you look at examples of story, and I'm not by any means an expert, and I want our viewers to jump into this.
I just want to say one thing though. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have both the morality and the good stuff,
right,
as well as all the bad stuff.
Right.
I think they're in parallel.
Right.
Oh, by the way, religion does tout some wonderful morality, golden rule, turn the other cheek, and all this other stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, it's also everything that he said.
I agree. But that's the side.
So they can be both,
right? But you talk about the prophets, the pure prophets. When we talk about people like Buddha, we talk about people like Jesus. They did not aspire to. They did not live the life of aristocrats.
You don't know any of that because you weren't there. All we know is stuff that was written 2,000 years ago.
No. Wait a second. This is another issue. If we added 8 people around this table,
yeah, exactly,
and I whispered something into Nuran's ear, and we went around the table, by the time it came
broken
full circle,
telephone, yeah.
The message, the original message would be completely distorted. That's 12 people in a small room.
Right.
And you're telling me that from the time people could actually speak, not necessarily all in the same dialects, right? But they uttered sounds that were interpreted a certain way. It took centuries before those spoken words could actually be written. And by the way, not everybody wrote. So the people who actually scripted the words had to listen and interpret and perhaps translate from certain dialects what had been passed on from person to person for centuries on end, to then record it in a document that to this day gets interpreted differently depending on which language, what belief system, who's saying the words.
But there's core principles. There's core principles at the heart of this that I think you can make the case are pure.
Yeah, the morality part.
That's exactly it.
But again,
exactly it.
But which book are we referring to? You say the morality part. So are we talking about Christian faith, Jewish faith, Muslim faith, Buddhist faith?
Do no harm.
Who says do no harm?
We all agree. I mean, that's
no.
That's
You have people who have killed in the name of God.
Of course, but that's a distortion. That is not. That's
according
not what the
to
message
who?
Well, this is my look.
No, maybe it's not the distortion.
But this is what I take out of it.
Maybe that was the intent all along.
I am not. This is the reason why I'm not just dumping on religion and just absolutely discarding it. I'm saying because there is this element of morality that Nuran is talking about that I do recognize in it. I think it has value.
Besides that, what has value in religion?
Nothing else.
Okay, so if you take the morality out, and as I said, if you can separate morality from religion, then religion is garbage, and morality is a good thing.
Wait a second. I'm lost, guys. Where's the morality in religion?
Well, the Ten Commandments.
No, not the spoken word. It's preached by example.
Yeah, he's saying
Where
something.
is the morality in religion?
The morality, do no harm.
No, but he's saying...
So a predator, somebody who takes a young child and sexually abuses him and is protected because he's a member of the clergy.
But we all agree that's we're not talking about the same. That's not religion. That's not the principle
How's that
of
not
morality.
religion? He's a messenger of God.
But that is not. He is not a messenger of God.
Yes, he is.
No, he is. He's completely illegitimate because that's
According
not,
to whom?
According to our understanding as decent
then he
human
goes
beings
to a
with a
different,
moral compass.
And then he goes to a different church and does it someplace else.
The kind of dad only has the uniform. He's
Exactly.
he's not a real messenger. Okay.
Oh, you guys kill me. Conveniently, he's not a real messenger
No, but
because he doesn't kind of strike the right note
but
with...
do you agree that do you recognize any morality in religion whatsoever, or you do not recognize any morality at all?
Very little. You know what I recognize?
Okay.
You know what I recognize a whole lot of? Hypocrisy.
Absolutely.
Hypocrisy.
But this is it. That when I go back to the prophets that I'm talking about, the early days of whether it be Christianity, of
you
any
realize
major
that
faith.
most of these people, if they were walking around today spewing the kind of stuff that they spewed, they would be locked up.
Well,
They say, who's this lunatic?
When you say God speaks to me now, are you a schizophrenic crazy man who hears voices in his head?
Or a chosen one?
Or are you the chosen one? How many people that are in institutions now because they hear voices?
we're jumping all over the map.
No, it's
We're
the same
jumping all over
thing.
the map.
No, it's not.
No, we're not.
jumping.
No, we started with a philosophy of decency and kindness. Each
According
human being.
to whom?
To the early prophets. The
How do
teachings
you
of the early
know
prophets.
that? How do you know what was in people's minds?
All right, so I'm not an authority. I'm not saying that I have 100% wisdom. Nobody does. But the way you interpret it, you can interpret it that way. That the early forces behind religion were forces
The
for
aliens?
good.
The aliens.
Were forces for good. Okay, you guys. What?
No. So and I would look at it.
God.
So you know what? I respect your opinion. My opinion is 180 degree removed from yours.
Okay, you said from the get-go there was never any element of good.
No, what
or pure.
what I'm saying is, for me, the moment there's any intent to manipulate people and control people, then it's not for good. And I think that that's where it has its roots.
Okay, so you consider appealing to our best instincts and passing a message of decency and peace between people.
What
You
peace?
think-
What peace? Religion is at the core,
That
at the
message-
root.
that-
Let me finish. Religion is at the root of every major war
Yeah.
we have experienced as human beings from the get-go to present day.
I agree with you.
At the root.
My point is,
where's the message of
okay,
good? Love thy neighbor.
You're not
love your
listening.
fellow
You're not
man.
listening. I'm saying it got hijacked. It got bastardized.
By who?
Absolutely.
No,
but
you're-
there was a kernel. There was a good kernel.
And the Crusades were
but
not bastardized?
Okay, you're not. Of course, all of it. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
It was sanctioned by the church.
principles, the principles, and
The principles.
the Crusades in the beginning of religion as a force of good for appealing to our better instincts and being better people and being kind to each other.
Okay,
and
so
taking
how do
care of
you reconcile
of the infirmed.
So how do you reconcile all of the hypocrisy? And when he said it's all about hypocrisy, you agreed.
Yeah.
We said, okay, well, you can separate religion and morality. Morality is the good part of religion.
That's what
all
I'm
the
saying.
rest is garbage.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
You don't need religion for morality.
Well, that's exactly. So if you take the morality out, which is the only good part of religion, and have it as itself, just by itself, this is morality. Everyone should be taught morality, as parents usually tell their children.
Yeah.
Be good to people. Don't do unto someone that you don't.
Exactly.
The golden rule, all
Exactly.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
If you can separate that, then why do you need to go to church every Sunday?
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not
So-
saying.
But you're
look,
defending religion when all I'm saying
I'm
is
not. I'm defending.
there's only
I'm
one good part about it.
Exactly. That's the one good part that I'm putting on the table,
Yeah.
and that's the part that I want to be faithful to, and that I want to defend.
But why do you need religion to have morality?
For me, it was one channel of morality.
I think what it does is it demonstrates how deeply rooted this stuff gets, because you made the point earlier, from an early age,
Yeah.
you're subjected to these messages. They get reinforced, right? Whether it's Saturday, Sunday, when you go to
The flying dragon.
right? It's the parents reinforcing it, and your teachers reinforcing it, and everyone in your community, right? Because it becomes a community, is reinforcing the same messages. And one of the questions I have is, what makes your community the right one in terms of its morality and values, as opposed to another community of individuals who hold a different belief system? Oh, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and countless others who have different beliefs. Who's right and who's wrong?
Okay, if you strive, I don't care. That's not important to me. I don't care, what your faith is, what your label is. But if your core principles are about, living your life in an honorable way, taking care of people, not hurting anybody, being generous, then I don't care what your label is. For me, that's what I'm looking for, and I respect that, and that's what I want to be a part of.
I think that based on what you just described, religion has been more harmful than helpful to society.
In many ways, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
But that's the piece.
Because I don't focus on what somebody behind a pulpit says. I focus on the behaviors.
But Pat,
Exactly what I'm saying.
And you have extremist mentalities across all religions.
because religion is humans. Humans are imperfect. So some of them,
But I thought religion wasn't about humans.
well, it is. It's about,
Of course it's about humans.
yeah,
How can it not be about
how
humans?
can it not be?
Oh, you're talking about because, the...
Well, what is it found? What is
theory.
what is the founding principle?
Again, why is this not? There's the core principles. I explained it. I laid them out. I can go to church or I do not go to church, but as long as I live my life according to those core principles, which I think early religion brought us.
Which religion?
Okay, I'm speaking for.
I
I'm
don't
a
know.
Christian.
If there's a religion that says,
But if you look-
wait a second. If a religion says that a female is a male's possession, whether it's through marriage or through birth or through that's a teaching. That's a religion.
I'm joining. Sorry.
Good luck to us all.
right. I think.
So
I think
no, but
there's a common thread.
But that doesn't coincide with your belief system.
Okay, there is a common.
But why would that be wrong?
Because I'm not interpreting things literally. I'm interpreting things in terms of core principles, and the core principles are not 1,000. The core principles you could condense them in the 10 Commandments, but core principles are if you choose to live your life, as I said, in an honorable way. To be honest, to take care of people, to be generous. That's my starting point. That's where I draw my inspiration from.
And I want to know the relationship between male and female. Is it one of equal or not?
Of course.
Of course, it's equal.
No. What?
But we're not. But again,
many religions say it's not equal.
Yes, I know. But now we're talking about organized religion. Now we're talking about
we are talking
that's
about
what we're talking
organized
about.
religion.
We're talking about what I'm saying. I am saying there is a level before the organization, before it all got manipulated.
What was that level?
How many female priests are there in the Catholic Church?
Guys, I'm not in favor of organized religion. I'm in favor of the simple initial principles of faith, which were the principles. Why can't you guys don't understand?
Because we're talking
you talked
about
it.
religion.
I know, but you talked about the morality piece of religion.
Yes.
How do you define the morality piece of religion? You agree with my definition, which is core principles of decency and goodness.
Wait a second. I think what I heard Nuran say
Well, let him say it.
is if the only good part of religion is morality, why do you need religion? You can have morality without religion.
That's
That's
exactly
what I'm
what I
hearing.
said.
It's a framework.
If people espouse that morality that we just defined,
Yes.
then that's what I want.
But human nature suggests otherwise.
Well, human nature is flawed.
Yeah. So
All I'm saying is human nature suggests otherwise.
Okay, so human nature can be damned. I made a decision. I said, this is who I am. These are the principles that will guide my life. And that's the end of the story.
But you, as the community-oriented member of this group, should recognize that it's not just about what you believe, because as a society, we have representatives who hold different beliefs.
Yeah.
And if some of those beliefs are far-fetched and not necessarily reflective of the consideration that you have for the well-being of others and the kindness and the generosity and giving back, then we have a problem. We collectively have a problem.
Of course we have a problem.
And that's the world we live in.
Of course.
And what I'm saying is that in large part, the reason we have that problem today is because of the prominent role that organized religion plays.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And then although...
And at a time when, contrary to what happened, 5,000 years ago, or 100,000 years ago, living at a time when science is providing so many explanations to questions that have been unanswered from the beginning of time, let's open our minds to what science has to say to explain the otherwise unexplainable, as opposed to believing in fairy tales
But you can
that
do
were
both.
aimed at saying, oh, you don't have the answer to this?
Look,
let me provide you with an answer. Right?
I think that that there's people
Zero tolerance for same-sex relationships, right? Determining that this is a sin. Who the hell are you to tell me that this is a sin and then you're preying on young children? Who the hell are you?
Okay, but Pat, you can't look at it that way because, there's always bad people, whether it's doctors, accountants, priests.
Oh, but when the organization that they're a part of doesn't hold them to account, but sweeps it under the fucking rug,
I do
right?
agree.
And then relocates them to another jurisdiction, right? And when I hear
But that's not
arguments-
religion. That's
and
nothing-
when it is
That is
religion.
religion.
That is exactly what religion is. And when I hear arguments as they shouldn't be going to a court of
No,
law,
I-
they're being held to a higher standard.
I agree with
Are
Pat.
you kidding me?
I agree with Aki. That's not religion. Those are...
No, you guys choose to interpret it as not being religion.
Those are the people that identify to that religion, but it's not a religion. It's different.
Okay,
that's not religion.
Dominic,
Yeah.
you go shopping, right? You go to a grocery store,
Yeah.
and locally somebody's made a decision to jack up the prices. Has nothing to do with the corporate entity. You're getting gouged,
Okay.
right? What does the headline say? Loblaws or whomever, price gouging, right? It's the organization. It's whether it's the Christian church, whether it's the Jewish faith, whether it's the Muslim faith, whether it's the religion, it's the organization.
Yeah, but I mean, Pat,
They've created an environment where these people can exist and thrive. And when
And
the
they've
opportunity
protected them.
and when the opportunity presents itself to hold those people to account and to deal with them in a stern fashion, they oftentimes
Yes.
just turn a blind eye and say, it's in the hands of God or Allah or whomever.
See, you keep saying organization, which is separate from the religion.
What is religion without organization?
Well,
It's organized religion. I mean, that's the whole point of it.
If it's not
Faith-
organized religion, it's
faith.
a belief system.
So faith is different from religion. So if you have faith, that's great.
look, there's a lot of people who have the same beliefs that I do, Catholic beliefs,
Yeah.
but they don't go to church.
Okay.
It's religion.
What's the difference? Whether you go to church or not, isn't faith what you believe in?
Well, exactly.
So you're saying that if you don't go to church on Sundays, you're not a good Christian.
No, quite the opposite.
Why?
Why? Because,
Because the church has told you you must go to church.
yeah, but I don't agree with everything the church says. I don't have to.
nobody follows blindly.
Exactly.
Oh, that's not true.
Well, no, we
Oh,
don't.
it's all good.
But this is, we don't follow blindly.
No, but I'm just trying to understand. So I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to attack or denigrate or anything. I'm just trying to understand. Okay, you have morality, which is good. We all agree morality is necessary. It's good. It's wonderful. We also have faith. You individually feeling okay when I die, I don't just turn to dust. I go someplace, whatever. That's your internal faith.
And you're not hurting anyone.
And exactly.
Right.
So you have these two things that are, to me, both things fantastic. 100% morality necessary for the human race. Fantastic. Everyone should be great, moral, ethical, wonderful people. If you have faith and you choose to have faith in something beyond the here and now, by the way, I do too. I have my own internal faith. I don't talk much about it, but yes,
Exactly.
I am a person of faith. I will shit on any religion because religion has nothing to do with either the faith that I hold or the morality that I have. They have nothing to do with it. They didn't have to teach me a fucking part of it.
Okay.
Because as a human being, individuals, you have to have the ability to have your own
Moral compass.
Exactly. You have to decide for yourself. Am I going to fuck this person who's down and in my way, or am I going to stop and help him up?
There you go.
You have to decide as a human being.
There you go.
So where does religion fit in any of that? Why do I have to go to fucking church on Sunday to have some
don't
guy
have
who
to.
might be a pedophile tell me what the fuck to do?
But that's that again. That is all I'm saying is that those principles that you just.
But I'm just
listed-
saying separate
But that
them.
was
That's all I'm
that's
saying.
what I'm saying. I believe that initially that was the idea behind religion.
Okay.
and then it strayed from that horribly.
Okay, so
that's
let's- So today, though, we're in the here and now. We're in today, 2024, today. Okay, how do you feel about religion versus morality versus faith? That's what I think. That's the discussion we should be having right now.
To me,
I don't
faith,
think, other than the evolution of science, I don't see how it's different in 2024 than it was in 2000 BC. I just don't.
Well, again, it's because we're here now. We weren't there 2,000 years ago where, people, listen, a couple of hundred, just like 400 years ago, we were burning people as witches. Just like 400 years ago, forget 2,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago.
It's still happening in certain parts of the world.
Exactly. So all I'm saying is that, again, human nature, you touched on it earlier, human nature hasn't changed. We're the same animals that we always were. Okay, in terms of the way we think, conniving. Some people are going to be looking at how to screw everyone around them. Take something that if I can take something that's yours, it makes me better. So I'm better than you if I can take it from you. Stuff like that. These types of people are always going to be.
but all right.
Religion doesn't change that.
Faith, morality, are subsets of religion.
No,
Yeah.
no.
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 You say no. So I'm going to say this demonstrates how powerful
Religion
is.
Yeah.
Because if you believe that, and I have every reason to believe that you do,
Yeah.
it just shows how powerful religion is.
Yeah.
Because I
They're
disagree with that.
completely.
To my core, I disagree with that, unfortunately.
Okay, so the initial, to support what Dominic is saying, initially the people that brought these messages forth were people with high moral standards.
You have no idea.
Well, if you want to
don't.
say,
You have no
Buddha
idea.
and Christ, that they were corrupt and they were materialistic.
But honestly,
You don't-
Maybe I don't see any compelling evidence of that. I see what the
But
stories
you don't
are.
see any of
consistent.
it because you weren't there.
No, so we saw that we dismiss history. Then history has no value.
You have to
History
take it
has
with a
value,
grain of
but you have
salt.
to take it with a grain of salt. I agree.
Okay.
And
Take
we
it
have,
with a grain
and
of
we
salt.
have to distinguish
Right.
between history at a time when we could record events accurately,
Okay.
and a portion of history which time-wise is far more extensive that predates our ability to record
all I'm going to
things.
say is that initially, this is my belief and my understanding of history as I interpret it. Initially, these were honorable people.
Okay, in
These
your
were-
mind-
these were honorable people.
So,
They did
yes.
not live in palaces. They did not have cathedrals. They were missionaries. They worked for the good of humanity. They did it on the ground. They did it face to face with people to try and help them.
Okay, say yes.
So
Okay.
that's it.
Perfect.
So that's it.
Okay, so
that's
yes.
it.
Or could have been a homeless lunatic.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying. but
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, no.
Okay,
Wait,
so
if
who
you want-
cares? But the point is, who cares? We're not 5,000.
But that's
2,000 years ago.
but that's the building block. For me, that's the building block.
building block of what? A control.
Building block. We should be. But that's what should inspire
It's a
humanity.
mechanism. Inspire humanity. Are
Okay,
you-
guys, listen to me. I'm talking about the idea of people, missionaries, honorable people on the ground doing good. In what way?
You just described yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to focus on. I'm saying that is a good and honorable building block. Did it work that way? Did it become completely twisted
a
out of
building
shape?
block? Are you kidding me? He just talked about every freaking war on this planet being bad.
Because it was not faithful to those original
But when
concepts.
it's done every fucking day of the week for 2,000 years, at what point do you say, "Oh shit, maybe this isn't so good"?
Okay, so absolutely. So criticize and bring it down, condemn it as you're doing. Fine, do that. We're doing that. All I'm trying to say is, out of this whole stupid mess, that there was an honorable beginning, and that is what I want to hold on to. And I think we need to hold on to it. What is wrong with that?
You're right. You're right.
What is wrong with that?
An
You're
honorable
delusional.
beginning.
You're delusional. That's what I
Okay,
think.
I am. All right.
You're right.
Excuse me. Now I have to go pray.
It's okay. Yeah. Look, that's why churches are empty these days.
As they should be.
And it's not because people are not religious anymore. I think a lot of them are, just that they've concluded that the institution itself.
It's garbage. Again,
Yeah,
religion
no,
and
it's not
faith
for
are
them.
different things.
I don't think it's garbage. It's not for them. So they
it's
pick
my
and-
opinion.
Okay, that's fine. They pick and choose, like I do. Okay. I'm one of those.
Again-
I go to church maybe 6 times a year.
Okay, so again, morality, faith, and the church, organized religion. I see 2 out of 3 being fantastic and 1 being garbage. You're saying that the organized religion, putting aside morality and faith, that there's some value in this thing?
Look, Naran,
Sorry. And if
what's
you do,
the value?
wait a second. And if you do,
What's the value?
do you believe that to be true of all religions?
Well, I'm not an expert in the other ones. Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
So what's the value though?
listen. Okay, this is what we represent. This is the way we practice. I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for you.
No, that's fine.
But this
You
is
can.
when I go to church. I do
Yeah.
go to church because I was brought a certain way. I'm not completely cast away from everything that my parents taught me and our traditions, and so that the church was a part of my
Allah
life.
Akbar, yes.
Okay, so but this is what I bring to my faith, and this is what I bring to my church. This voice of this, the core principles. This is what I believe. I believe, what are you as a priest, as a member of faith? What are you doing on going out of the church to help your community, to take on a worthwhile cause? What are you doing tangibly in order to make a contribution to the betterment of people? That's what my expectation is. So I'm a voice, but I'm not a voice of I don't want to get. I don't want to hear.
Okay, so hang on. So what I just heard is that you're holding up your church leaders,
Yes.
as community leaders,
Yes.
and you're saying, hey, as a community leader, what are you doing for your community?
The idea of a missionary. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so when you were working in the places that you've worked,
Right.
were you not doing similar things?
But that's it. But to me, this is the
Again,
the
so
morality.
The reason I'm getting to this, the reason I'm going down this path is I'm curious. Why do you need a church to do that? You have organizations that do that. Again, I'm trying to figure out
Because-
between morality, faith, and the church. What's
my
so
vision.
good about this church?
That's my vision. That's my vision of the church being the
Yeah,
good
I know,
church.
but you don't need
That's
the
it.
church to do that, is what
No,
I'm saying.
no, but-
you have
but-
community
no.
organizations that do that.
No.
Again, so I just want to understand what's so fucking good about this church.
Because that is I'm saying this is my expectation of it. This is what it was.
Yeah, but you
built
can
on.
get that elsewhere. So, given that you can, I'm just
We should-
from a logical perspective. I'm just trying
so
to
let's
dig.
get it from elsewhere. Let's have many channels like
Great.
this of
So
goodness.
then, why do you need this fucking church?
I don't need it, but that's my
Thank you.
relationship
I'm
with
done.
it. But that's my relationship with it. I have a relationship with it. I don't need it, but I do have a
does need
relationship with it. And this is my relationship is built on what I just
It's
explained.
so deeply ingrained.
It's crazy though, because from a logical perspective,
there's nothing logical about it.
I understand
But
that.
no, you're looking at it from a rational. There's nothing.
What is
logical
not
about it.
logical about living your life in a decent way,
Morality.
and being
Morality.
being
Here.
good
Morality.
with people?
Morality.
What is it?
Has nothing
There's
to do
nothing
with
wrong with that.
church.
It has nothing to do with religion.
with the
Okay,
church.
so this is
and
what
you keep saying church. To me, it's
Okay.
not church.
okay. I'm using that as organized religion.
That's the root of decent religion.
Yeah.
That is the root of decent religion. So that's the connection
What
that I'm
is
making.
decent religion?
Exactly what I've been
Morality.
repeating ad nauseum.
Good people.
Morality,
I
good
don't
people,
see it. I don't
doing
know.
good.
Okay, so again, morality, faith, and organized religion. You've got 2 out of 3, which are very useful. I
Well,
think
Meatloaf would have said 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
that's true.
So you should have as many. Break it down any way you like. You should have as many channels of good as possible. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I can't argue with that. I mean, that comment, fantastic. The problem for that comment
There's
is
always
the
a
fact
problem.
that the organized religion, I'd say 99 out of 100 times has done more
I agree.
bad for the earth
I agree.
than good.
I
So
agree.
that's where I find that
I agree.
that your
But
comment, although good to hear,
Right.
just doesn't cut the smell
But
test.
and I'm saying is one of the initial channels, supposed to be one of the initial channels of good. It did not work out that way.
Yeah. Well, because of humans and human nature and how it was used to control people versus doing the altruistic, wonderful thing. Remember, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Before the Old Testament was an eye for an eye. It was like there's an evolution of good stuff. That
I mean,
comes
what do
out
you?
of
What do you?
there.
No, you're right about your criticism of the abuse and so forth.
If it does, it's
Careful what you say. This
Right.
is being
No,
recorded.
but you're right. No, but what do you say? Okay, so but let's also look at what do you say about those priests who saved Jews during the Holocaust?
Yeah.
They were part of the
Again,
same organization.
Morality.
Exceptional.
Morality.
Were they in the majority or the minority?
But Pat,
No, I'm asking.
You're right. They're minority.
Okay.
Minority. Okay.
Well,
So,
to me, the
Wasn't Pius, with the Nazis?
statistical norms. Statistical norms.
right.
Trying to figure
Don't give me 2 or 3 or a handful of individuals.
No, but what is that?
In an organization represented by hundreds of millions
but
of people?
Pat, you did the same thing. When you talk about abusing priests, they're minority, very small minority. How is an altar boy?
Yes.
Was never.
No. I think if it had been a very small number, it would have never risen to be the issue that it is today.
But
It was pretty pervasive. And I come back to the hypocrisy, just like the number of homosexuals who had nowhere to hide in society. And so where did they go? In this case, I'm going to say the Catholic Church, right? So that they could practice homosexuality in a way where it's going to be, out of the public eye. And even if it's a sin, I'll be forgiven because, and to me, it's like, embrace humanity. There are people who prefer individuals of the same sex. So what? So what?
Look, I agree that.
Right? A man and a woman are equal. Anybody who thinks otherwise and anybody who's thought otherwise throughout the eons isn't looking at the world straight.
If you tell me that the Catholic religion has not progressed for society, 100% agree with you. But
It's not, and by the way, it's not just the Catholic. To me,
No, I'm just talking about-
any
yeah.
form of extremism, right? The Jews, the Muslims, the Christians, the Orthodox, I don't care. It's all the same in the sense that, Ireland, for goodness sake, I'm Irish. Are you Irish Catholic or are you Irish Protestant?
I know.
Let's kill
And,
each other.
where were the leaders of the respective
Of course,
churches to
of
say,
course.
stop the bloodshed,
Of
stop
course,
the nonsense,
of course.
love your fellow man,
Orthodox Russia killing Orthodox Ukraine.
right?
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Right?
too?
That's the one. I agree. Totally agree. It's just that you can't, for example, to give your example of Loblaws, if the fruit and vegetable manager is lousy in a store, it doesn't mean that Loblaws is lousy.
No, what I'm saying is,
So,
But if they don't fire him and they protect him,
if there are a large
Yeah.
enough number of
That's the
people in
problem.
an
Accountability.
organization, and they're still in the minority, who are acting in malicious, unethical, unlawful ways, it reflects on the organization they're part of. And if the organization turns a blind eye to it,
and they did.
or tells the outside world,
Covers it up.
don't worry, we're going to deal with it on our terms because this person, not that they're above the law, they answer to a higher calling.
if you're Harvey Weinstein,
Oh, well,
and we go down that path, right? So
that's a different subject.
it is. So
No, but-
do we
but-
all agree now? Hang on. Have we all now agreed that you've got morality, you've got faith, you've got organized religion, and 2 out of the 3 are really good for humanity, and 1 not so good?
And my only caveat is that one started with a good idea and a good principle.
No problem. I'll
And
give
it
you that.
went
If,
astray.
if you choose to believe that.
Yeah, you can. That's fine.
That's-
I'm from the John.
but
I'm
Pat-
from the John Lennon school.
no,
of
but
thought.
Pat,
Lenin?
Yeah, John Lennon.
just let it be.
No religion.
I'm
No borders.
Lenin. Comrade Lenin.
Yeah.
Listen, he doesn't know, but neither do you. None of us were there, so give him the
No, but many of the tenets
Yeah, I know,
that organized religion are based on,
Yeah,
right?
You don't have to die on every mountain, though.
Science has clearly shown.
I get it, but
These
you don't
are
have
fairy tales.
It's
These
okay.
are-
Just let him have that little
No,
hill.
look,
right?
No, and I'll tell you what, live and let live, because I know you to be such a kind-hearted, no, I'm serious, kind-hearted human being.
Yeah.
And I know that everything that you say and do comes from the heart, and I know that you care deeply about your fellow person.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But that's not representative
No.
of a whole bunch
No.
of people out there who blindly follow the
course,
marching
of
orders.
course.
See, he's only
And will-
25% of this group.
Of course.
The rest of us are assholes. So.
Kill your fellow man because he has a different belief system.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
There's also the sacraments. As far as Catholics are concerned, we have those 3 sacraments, which are important. Your baptism, your marriage, and funeral. Those are 3. Okay, there's First Communion, but to me,
And why are they important?
well, it's ceremonial.
No, but why is it ceremonial? But why is it important?
it's part of our religion, and it's
So
part of
somebody who doesn't go through those 3 steps, do they lead a lesser
No,
life?
no,
Do they-
no,
what's
but-
what's the importance of it?
The education,
the
the education that they're
education,
getting from these steps.
Oh my
Exactly.
God, guys! I mean, that's just brainwashing from like day from. Listen, I'm
what's-
Armenian
what's-
Orthodox.
okay, what
I've
the-
had all the sacraments.
So what
and
is
all
the
this
difference?
stuff.
What is the difference?
It means nothing to me.
What is the difference between the education that you get through the sacraments that Dominic is talking about and the morality education that you get
Okay,
in school?
so I'll give you an example. I'm Armenian Orthodox. In the Armenian Orthodox religion, when you're born and you get baptized, you get all the sacraments all at once.
Okay.
No education.
Okay.
I wasn't educated. I just had the sacraments. I got them all.
Okay.
3 at a.
All right.
You get 3 at a time.
All right.
Away you go.
More power to you.
Okay.
Isn't that
so
like winning the lottery?
it is, but
was
I
a
played
previous
last night and I
podcast.
didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it was 70 million. I tried. Anyway, so I just forgot everything I was going to say.
Another sign of aging.
You've got
The sacraments.
The
You won the
sacraments
lottery,
all in
you got
one
all
Yeah,
shot.
I got all
once.
3. So it wasn't a learning experience for me. It was just
Good
hey,
point.
Okay,
Good
so
point.
so depending on the religion, depending on the type of Christianity you're born into, and we're all born into it. Hey guys, by the way, if every written document was burned tomorrow and Earth started, fresh, would we have religion at all? I wonder.
We would have a form of religion, yes.
Yeah, Scientology for the taxes.
No, we would. Well, why is Scientology so far-fetched?
For the taxes, it's a good
No,
start.
no. But I'm saying the premise. Like I hear people.
Elron?
I hear people who believe, the tenets of other religions
Yeah.
who discount Scientology.
Yeah, it's
Like,
all the
what?
same shit.
What's the difference?
I'll make some stuff
I'll
up too.
have to look into that.
No worries.
What's
You
the
know what?
difference?
To your point, Norando, I gotta say it's a good point what you said. If all the books were burnt, if every knowledge was lost,
Yeah.
we start over. Pat says, "Man, maybe your religion will be back, but all the science will be
Yeah, exactly.
eventually."
Yeah.
So then I'll give you that. All the science will be back.
Yeah, religion
Not
is
necessarily religion. I don't know.
No, I said a form
A
of
form.
religion because what is religion?
Yeah.
If you come back to our definition of religion, it
control.
will always. I mean, what Putin does is a form of religion.
Correct.
What Hitler did was a form of
Absolutely.
religion. Right. That's all I'm saying. To
Absolutely.
me, religion
Absolutely.
is equates to this
next
organized
discussion.
effort.
Trumpism.
Okay.
That's a religion.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think-
interesting because you mentioned the 3. You mentioned the 3 sacraments. You said marriage.
Yeah.
So you're Roman Catholic, but you have a preference for same sex. You can't get married, can you?
No. I don't agree with that.
Ah, okay. No,
They
you
should.
don't have to agree. You don't.
No,
have,
they
you don't. You
should.
don't head the
They
Roman
should.
Catholic Church.
They should, but you know what?
They'll get there eventually.
No, look, the church hasn't progressed with society. The Catholic religion, I should
All the
say.
priests will be marrying each other.
No, guys, you can't generalize that. You know what I mean?
He's not.
Okay, 50% of them.
no. No.
Too many. Let's put it that way. Too many.
One is too many.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hang on,
No,
hang on.
whoa, whoa,
no,
whoa,
wait a
no,
second.
no, no. He's not talking
I wasn't
about-
talking about pedophiles.
No,
I was talking about
exactly.
gay priests, and there's probably a lot of gay
Oh,
priests.
okay, that I agree.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So I take that back.
Sorry.
Yeah. When I said
I have no-
50%, I didn't mean pedophiles.
Oh,
I mean,
I think that's low.
well,
Yeah. No, I agree.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry. Anyways, no, that I do.
You mentioned the priests. What about the nuns?
Oh, the nuns are all. Never mind. I'm going to stop.
The nuns.
Same situation.
So tell me. I mean, given your heartfelt position on this, what was your? If you want to talk about it, what was your journey with religion in your life? Was it ever a part of your life or never?
So it was never part of my life in terms of my upbringing.
Okay.
My parents raised my brother and I in a way where they, educated us, if you will, and gave us the best sense of history that they could, put things into context to the best of their ability. I grew up in a home where across the street was a convent. So you actually had nuns on one side and the priests on the other. I experienced from an
tunnel in
early-
between?
I experienced from an early age the wonders of religion when our Christian neighbors would be met with open arms. But my brother and I, we weren't raised in any religious, but fundamentally we are of a Jewish heritage, and we were completely ignored because there was some knowledge of what our background was. My father is a Holocaust survivor. He completely wrote off religion to say if there's a God, where the hell is he, and why is he allowing this to happen?
That's a very good point.
You know, when we reached an age where most people of Jewish faith goes through a ritual, my parents sat us down and said, this is what the ritual represents. This is what it is. Da, 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 da. You know, is this something that you have any interest in doing, as opposed to saying, we're the parents, we decide you will do it. And, you know, we're at an age where you say, okay, you don't have all the knowledge in the world, but we were intelligent enough at that age to understand what it entailed. Both my brother and I said, no interest whatsoever. I attended, one of the elementary schools I attended was a private Christian school where I was the only kid exempt at parents' request from attending religion class. So they can put two and two together.
Right.
I can't tell you how much abuse I suffered because I was different.
But those are kids. Kids are kids.
Kids are kids, but
They learn from their
kids
parents.
learn from parents. Even
Exactly.
teachers have an attitude towards you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he doesn't go to religion class?
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm fast forwarding to adulthood. I married a Christian woman who was raised religiously, and
Heretic.
who when I met her, I won't say was religious, but was and is to this day a person of faith. I respect that 100%, even though I don't share any of those beliefs. At the core, she's someone who leads her life based on a value system, a belief system that is, with that one exception, 100% aligned to mine. And I think that's why we have a very successful long-term relationship. My kids were not raised to hold any religious beliefs, but again, we took the time to explain things to them. And because both my wife and I come from such different backgrounds, to help them understand that at the core, you need to have mutual respect, mutual trust, open communication. All the rest of it is window dressing and a lot of man-made bullshit. And I would say that my three daughters all have some level of spirituality today. That's not necessarily rooted in organized religion, but they're spiritual. I am not at all. And I think part of that is because, the way we raised them and put them in educational systems where they were exposed to different things.
Fine.
And they're adults. We respect their choices.
Fine.
Did you ever pray?
No, in fact, I've talked earlier, in earlier episodes about being seriously ill. And I was amazed that people who knew me and people who hardly knew me were sending me messages of how they were praying for me and lighting candles for me. And I would say, thank you. And in all sincerity, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But when I was diagnosed, I remember turning to my wife and saying, we are both about to find out if there's an ounce of belief in me. Nothing.
Nothing, huh?
Zero.
Okay.
Right?
Well, there you go. So I love that story because my dad was very similar to your dad and didn't raise us with religion at all. And he was an archdeacon at the Armenian church. So, he allowed us, my brother and I, to just figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
He brought us to church a couple of times. When we complained, altar boy, an Orthodox church is like 2.5 hours, 2 hours. It's forever. Yeah. So we said, no, we don't want to do it. He didn't push us. He let us just, go on, do our own thing for all of his life. So I really respected him for that as well. So
yeah, from an early age, I could never understand how individuals could dislike, hate, or harm one another based on different belief systems, as opposed to, some
totally
logical explanation for the conflict, to explain the conflict.
Yep.
Look at what's happening around the world to this day.
Well, I'm Armenian, born in Istanbul. There was a time when there were like Armenian terrorists running around at some point. It was in the 80s, I think, or something like that. My parents, again, not once ever tried to turn us against, Turks are bad or whatever. Never. I never. So again, it's like a choice of parents at a certain point to pass on hate and pass on their trauma to their kids versus just choosing not to and choosing not to pass on hate to their children. And I wish every parent would think that way before they went and poisoned their children with the baggage that they have and they continue to have, as opposed to letting their kids just be human.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see as many of the parents who to this day, you know, send their kids to temple or church or wherever it is they send them for you know, this mind shaping experience, to enroll them in science classes, or if not encourage them, or if not force them, encourage them to pursue science to the fullest extent possible through high school, at least through high school.
So to your point, then, so science is the only legitimate, and I might not be using the right word, but the only worthwhile field in humanity?
Oh, of course not.
Okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
But I don't think theology is a worthwhile field.
Okay.
What I'm saying science is because science helps explain a lot of things that occur in the universe that we've relied for too long on people to explain to us, because you know, it's not apparent or evident why things are the way they are.
Yeah, but I would argue, Pat, that those people and those influences basically eroded from the 60s on.
No.
From the what? From the
in Europe,
1260s,
in Europe,
1360s.
in large parts of Europe, Western Europe, I agree with you. Western Europe.
Okay, I know what you're going to say.
In parts of Canada, I agree with you.
Yeah,
but if you look at the most powerful country in the world,
I agree.
And you travel to southern states, it's as freaking rampant as it is in the Middle East.
You're right.
No religion, you know what it is? It's a buffet. You pick and choose what you like.
Yeah, it's logical what you're saying.
Some people
something's
overeat.
missing. Yeah, there's something missing.
The thing is that as human beings, we need nourishment, so we have to eat.
Yeah.
So whether it's a buffet or elsewhere, you have to get some food and some liquid. But the other stuff you don't need.
I agree.
So guys, have we all agreed that
we've agreed to disagree?
I think so. As well.
And you know what?
By the way, look how respectful we've been to everyone, and you know, we can actually have a conversation without killing each other on religion.
We can disagree on topics, and we can respect one another without necessarily having the same belief.
Because the common thing is intelligence.